Hi Hoboken, welcome to week 3, Namaste with Dr. A. Today's focus, communication. While you are inside the home with many or a few loved ones, you may have noticed, if you're like me, that conflicts have been on the rise since everyone's under the same roof without anywhere to go. Very normal, very typical. And if you're like, yeah, tenfold, guess what? You're human. Because while we're in smaller spaces, without our usual outlets, on top of a chronic tide of anxiety, uncertainty, perhaps worrisome, depressive thoughts, how could we not have a moment where we collide with other people in the home? Well, you're in luck. Today is two-pronged to help you out. First prong is called non-violent communication. You may be thinking, I've been stressed, but I haven't gotten violent with anyone. Maybe not with your hands, maybe not physically, but I, for one, have absolutely engaged in aggressive discussions, microaggressions, conflicts that did not need to be handled the way they were. And while I'm easy on myself, or I try to be later, and I know it's normal, there's certainly another way we can go about it. So nonviolent communication is a few steps that you can start practicing today in your home, and show this video to your loved ones if you think they could benefit also. Step 1, observe the situation from afar. Rather than saying, you always do this, you're going to state what you see that any other human being would also see. I noticed there's crumbs on the ground. Boom. That's different than saying, what the hell are these crumbs? Or, you're always doing this. Or, here we go again. Step 2, so that first is just observe and state your observation. Identify your own feeling. So we went through this in another session, but I want to review for you. Happy, mad, sad, scared. And some people throw in surprised. Think about the emotion that comes up for you in the moment. So in my example, I noticed there were crumbs on the rug after I finished vacuuming. I felt really frustrated. Step 3, identify the need for which that emotion is coming from. So maybe for me, it might have been, I'm feeling frustrated based on my need for tidiness, or I felt frustrated based on my need for respecting the property I've cleaned, my need for acknowledgement that I did this and it was hard and you're going to work around not messing it. Whatever the need comes from, because our emotions come from needs. So it might be, I felt in a different example, someone, let's say, misinterpreted what I said, jumped to a conclusion, I felt misunderstood, and that made me feel pretty unseen based on my need to be acknowledged and understood. Really different than having a fight over crumbs. Lastly, you make a request. So in this case, I am asking that you clean up the crumbs, or I'm asking that you acknowledge that this could be frustrating for the person who just vacuumed. Guaranteed, this is new and awkward for most of us, and it's not going to come naturally for a while, and that's okay. And your family member may look at you like, what happened to you? Why are you talking like this? Say, well, I'm trying something new out. I'm trying some non-violent communication strategies to increase our communication in the home and decrease our frustration level. Because we all know these times are not easy. So let's review it together. Make your observation. State the feeling you're experiencing. Link it to a need. This is the tricky part. Based on my need to feel respected, based on my need for autonomy, based on my need to be understood and seen, and then a request. I'm asking that you could dust bust this area where the crumbs are. I'm asking that you could acknowledge why this would be frustrating for me. I'm asking that you just hear me and paraphrase back what I said so I know I was heard. And that's it. Now here's the trickiest part of all. Once we do all that, and let's say we feel real strong that we did it calmly, succinctly, and we still don't get our way, that's a strong possibility still. So non-attachment to outcome is something to start practicing. This may go well or this may go terribly, but my commitment is to the process, not the product. Trying something differently in the way I discuss something, hoping it leads to something better, but not getting overly concerned if it doesn't. So I hope that helps. We're going to now shift into a physical movement that can reflect opening up our communication area, which is our throat. So coming to a comfortable seated position, hands on your knees, using your lower jaw loosely, open and shift it back and forth. So your jaw will go back and forth. For those of you with insomnia, you may be noticing some tight jaw movements. You might be experiencing some discomfort. One neck roll to start loosening up the shoulder and neck. And then the other way. Literally, physically, symbolically opening up the passage for communication. Next, we're going to do something that's going to feel silly, and it's okay if you feel silly. And if you stop in the middle of it, fine. Watch me do it, try it again. It's called a lion's breath. And in yoga, it's also seen a kind of breathing goddess pose. So you may have seen it before, you may not have, but it's going to feel really nice to release. So coming to your knees, open them widely, put your toes together, sit down, try to get your heels outside of your bottom and sink down towards your toes. Place one hand on one knee, the other hand on the other knee. These are either your lion, your tiger, your claws that are extending out, down your arms, pulling your shoulders forward, pulling your head upward. Then I want you to breathe in through your nose deeply. Exhale with an audible ah. So inhale, like an H sound. Inhale. One more. Inhale. Next, on your next 3 inhales, you're actually going to stick your tongue out like you're trying to get it under your chin. Look up towards your forehead and let out a bit of a roar. So, inhale. 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 Again, it may feel silly, but you're releasing all of that stress inside of your vocal cords of maybe words you wish you didn't say, thoughts that you've been noticing are negative and you want to pivot back to neutral or positive. Acknowledging that our words are really powerful. And if we let and release some of the things that are difficult, we make a little bit more space for the kind of communication we want to use. So the next pose we're going to be doing is camel. From your knees, open your shoulders up wide, shining your heart upward. Inhale like you're swan diving, reaching back towards your toes. Stretch open your throat, tilt back your head, and have a micro bend in your back like you're going towards your heels. You don't have to make it there, but that's the direction you're going in. Feel your throat stretch and open. Let your head drop back slowly. 3 inhales and exhales. Reposition your chin towards your chest. Come back to your bottom. And the last 2 poses we will be holding is going to be a shoulder stand and a fish pose. If at any point that the shoulder stand becomes uncomfortable, simply lie on your back and put your legs up a wall. If you feel comfortable trying shoulder stand, know that once you're on your back and you start to raise your legs, do not turn your head. So, lying back down, get on your tippy toes, start to lift your bottom up, put one leg up, then the other, roll up, placing your hands on your lower back, legs pulled up to the ceiling for 5 counts. Slowly putting your hands down like brakes, vertebrae by vertebrae, roll all the way back down. Extend your legs, prop up your shoulders like you're at a beach, shift your bottom a little bit towards your hands, release your head towards the floor. You're opening your throat chakra once again, and if you can make contact with your head to the floor, it'll be the crown of your head towards your hairline. With your shoulders behind you, reaching back, shimmying. We're gonna take 3 breaths here. Lift your chin back to chest. Release your body to Shavasana. Lie all the way flat. Let your legs play out left and right. Your arms stretch out. Your hands pull down towards your feet so you can feel your shoulder blades drawing down your back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Let your body melt into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. You can stay here as long as you like or curl back up to center. Ending together with your hands on your heart and your other hand over the first one. We're going to breathe in clear communication. We're going to exhale out passive aggression. Inhale, using non-violent communication. Exhale, use of manipulation, punishment, nagging. Inhale, peace. Exhale, extending your peace to others. Thank you again for joining me on the 11th session with Namaste with Dr. Ray. I thank you for your time, your heart, your efforts, from my house and heart to yours. Namaste.